Hi, this is Ruby with MRV Financial. Thank you so much for joining us on this beautiful monthly for our topic of the week. For today's topic of the week, we're going to talk about 30 more days on our COVID pandemic virus. Working from home, what that means to us. We have a special guest today. Before we move forward further, don't forget to follow us on our medias. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe with all your family members. We still have our raffle going on, so it's all about activity. Our special guest for today is Dr. Jacqueline Lane. Welcome.
Thank you, Ruby. It's nice to be here.
Yes, thank you so much for coming back a second time.
Fun.
Talk about what's going on right now. So let's get on with our topic. What can you tell us about 30 more days?
30 more days. We got to stay home 30 more days. So we're probably right now a little anxious because we've been working and now we just heard, 30 more days. How am I going to do 30 more days? And like my governor just said, the entire state is in kind of a lockdown, right? Out for necessary reasons. And that's food, right? Medicine, or you have to go to the doctors. I mean, what else is necessary? So we got to figure out what to do at home.
Yes.
30 days. So if you're still having a little bit of trouble, and I know some of you have kids at home, so that's a whole different dynamic than I have right now. But I've worked remotely or at home or with multiple locations for 20 years. So I'm very comfortable with this. And people will call and email, what do I do? Just relax, take a breath, and figure out your life, right? And so I wrote the article for LinkedIn, which you'll get their link from Ruby. One of the things about working from home is to keep a schedule. You know, what's your schedule? Or what do you want your schedule to be, right? Just because you worked 8 to 5, you know what? You might have the flexibility to change. You know, so if you're an early riser like I am, I get up 4 or 5. I work for 3 or 4 hours. I've already worked half of my 8 hours. So now I exercise. I tell everybody you can still go outside to walk, right? I told someone the other day, because they have a gym membership, I can't go to the gym. Okay, that's okay. So, you know, and the other person was my daughter. You know, she's extremely active. She's a millennial. Mom, I can't. I said, you know what you do? For $100, you can go on to Amazon. They deliver it, right? I said, get a mat, get a bouncy ball, get the straps. And you're like, on your porch. Come on. Out in the middle of the afternoon in the sun. So she sent me a cool picture yesterday, right? She got all her little equipment for $100. And she's out in the sun working out. Right? So we have to become creative.
Yes.
So I tell people, and Amazon will deliver it. And don't go crazy buying a home gym because you may not use it again.
You're you're only trying to keep yourself active and at peace because, so I have been working from home since 2017, like full on. So I only have 3 years of experience working from home. And I remember how big of a difference it was. Like prior to that, I had my office in our downtown Plainfield. And, you know, it was nice because I went back and forth. You know, I would leave. Now everything's in one location. You know, I do everything from home. So I remember the needing to create a structure for me to stay on top of everything because it's so easy to just go to the fridge and sit down. Like that's the easiest thing for anyone to do.
Yes. You know? Because you know what? Although I have worked remotely a lot and so have you, The biggest difference now is before this started, on Mondays, maybe I went to the coffee shop and worked remotely. Maybe I wanted to go to a little town and explore a little town in Texas that has a coffee shop or a library. So I incorporated my work at home with adventures. Now I don't have children, and some people listening may not or may. So it's a different type of work from home, right? You have more flexibility to leave your home and go and work from somewhere else. Yeah. So that's a huge difference. But again, you have to create structure.
And I think accountability is the biggest thing. Time management, accountability, and knowing when to, like, for people that do have family, for people that have, you know, people that they're responsible for, time blocking is so important. Knowing when your kids, so for me, I went back to when I first became a mom.
Yes.
I went back to when I was in school for both of I was in school and working. I think that's just my style, you know, my lifestyle. And I remember being in school and working while being pregnant, like full time, like business as usual, you know, just whatever. I needed to go back to those days of when my kids are sleeping, I work.
Yes. Yep.
When, you know, like it takes a lot of knowing, okay, you know what, well, I still have to work. I still have to produce. Well, I have 24 hours in one day. We all have 24 hours in one day, but we all use these 24 hours very differently. Some people, you know, watch TV, whatever it is that they, you know. So for me, I just learned to juggle what those 24 hours mean to me and when am I going to be the most effective? Because that's the problem, that we try to be effective at the wrong times.
And that's, are you a morning person, an evening person? So, I mean, we have great technology today to help us with this. And I told everybody, and I do this even now, even though I don't have to. It was a habit and it became a habit, right? So I set my phone and I say, okay, the alarm. I'm going to work from 9 a.m. to noon. I have Alexa.
The one that did that. Like, okay, tell me when I gotta stop, because otherwise I'm gonna keep going.
I have Alexa. Every morning, Alexa tells me it's 9 a.m. It's time to start working.
Nice.
I stop whatever I'm doing and I go to work, and in 4 hours, my alarm rings. And I know, okay, I put 4 hours in. I'm gonna go do lunch. I'm gonna go work out. I'm gonna take a walk. I'm going to go do laundry. There's a lot of positives to work.
Oh, I love it.
Home. Okay. I love it too. So the first thing I always tell me, attitude and behavior. Do not think from working from home is bad. I told a lady the other day, I said, you know, because she was having a tough time. And I said, you know, Alexa helps me. My phone helps me. My day planner helps me. However, what really helps in the beginning, and I want her to do it, is log how much money you're saving, how much more time you're spending with your family, and how much time you get to do other things.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I said, I want you to keep a diary for 30 days. Seriously, at the end of the day, I want you to say, oh my gosh, I didn't buy lunch. I didn't drive my car, no wear and tear. I didn't have to buy clothes, makeup. Like, how much money? Right? And I said, and then how much time did you spend with your children? Because you really only worked 8 hours.
And there's 24 still.
Yeah, 24
16.
Hours. Yeah, you have 16 hours of free time.
You could sleep, take out your whatever you sleep, and you still have that much more time.
Yeah, take the kids to the park every day. You know, you can put them on the when this is all over. If you're still working from home, which I told her after 30 days, you just might want to ask your boss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the part that I'm really excited for, actually. That is the part. So I do a lot of like research through a lot of different ways. Because, you know, I think that's what your master's program really teaches you, how to be a master, knowing when the data is not accurate. You become a master in your studies, right?
Yes.
So I do a lot of phone calls through my research. A lot of people don't even think about making phone calls as part of talking to other people about the industry. So I remember I was like, you know what? I have a lot of accounting. When I got my accounting degree for my bachelor's, I got it because one of my professors suggested that I would be good at it, which fast forward, I'm so thankful for him. He suggested that I would be good at it. So he's like, and you could work from home. This was back in 2000.
Oh my gosh.
This was back in like 2000. I graduated 2008. So we're talking about 12 years ago.
Wow. Good for him.
And he told me, he was like, you look like, you know, you get to know me through class and all of that. So you see my personality and all that. So he was like, you should. So my degree at the time was just business administration, because I always knew I wanted to be a business owner. I just didn't know what, you know?
Right.
So I remember him saying that, and I was like, you know, I was very corporate mindset. So I was like, sure, I'll just add it. But I remember him saying that. Fast forward, I work from home. My girls work from home, and I love it. You know, I really, really do love it because of all those things that you said. The extra time that I'm not spending 2 hours driving, going and coming back. In those 2 hours, I did laundry, I cooked, or I meal prepped. You can
do a whole lot of things.
Yeah. So to the research of, are accountants really working from home yet? So I started, so that was part of my research for 2020. Are accountants really working from home yet? So I started to look for a job, and I would request I have to work from home. Really? They like the recruiters, the people would like, that doesn't exist. Like, sorry, you cannot find a job like that. And to me, I was like, yes, I'm still in the now. My is in the now. That was part of my research, because, you know, I am looking for talented folks. I am looking, you know, for people that love what we do. So I want to know, how do I position myself as a business owner to attract these folks? How am I different as a business owner?
Well, if you're a business owner and you're looking for someone, now I just read this article and I haven't verified it yet, because I'm like you, I got to research it, right? LinkedIn right now, all the people on LinkedIn, because we've been home for already how many days, the top searches on LinkedIn right now is, I want a job from home. I want to remain at home. Now, this is on LinkedIn. Now, if you are a business owner, I wouldn't so much do it on LinkedIn. One, it's going to be expensive. And two, there's so many applicants. But I would go on flexjobs.com, right? Remotework.com, because that's where you're going to find the smaller business owners, the medium-sized business owners, and there's already thousands of applicants on those sites.
So let's repeat it because a lot of people did lose their jobs. So it's
flexjobs.com and remotejob.com. And if you want me to, I have a whole, there's hundreds. I have a whole sheet.
Okay.
I give them to students and people I know that want to work from home. And if, let's say you're young and single, or you're a couple, or you're older and no children, people work from all around the world. When this is over,
this is going to be the new thing. This is going to be the new thing. I think it was last year that I was doing research on how, how the internet has really empowered us and how it has done so much for us. But because it has done so much for us, it has also thrown in a lot of what I call a lot of distractions. We get an information overload that by the time you know it, you don't even invest in yourself anymore.
No.
You go to work, you come home, you're exhausted, and you're like, I don't want to read. I don't want to invest in myself. And
I mean, think, to your point, if you set your alarm, because you work 8 hours. Okay, so 9 to noon, right? And then 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe to 5. But there's no driving. There's nothing. And if I have a dentist, the best thing about working from home is I have a dentist appointment. I can make it any day of the week, anytime I want. If I want to go to the mall, I can go to the mall.
Yes. It's all about being accountable for your time management.
Yes.
It really comes down to that. And, you're just going to find yourself moving your schedule around.
Now, there is, you just move it around. And once you start doing it, you get used to it. Now that we've been home for a while, some of the anxiety's lowered, but in other areas, it's growing. And what I tell women too is look at the facts and datas about working at home. Women get promoted more from working from home because there's no office politics. Nobody's looking at what they wear, what they look like. When you work from home, it's all about productivity.
Yes. What can you do? What can you do? Yes.
So if you want to be a shining star, get rid of the anxiety, and you have an opportunity for the next 30
there's
days.
a lot of opportunity, Kitty. Get rid of the anxiety, get rid of the ego, get rid of a lot of stuff that it's baggage. It's baggage.
Yes, it's baggage.
At the end of the day, what did you accomplish in the 1 hour that you were sitting at your desk? Are you happy with that productivity? If not, what can you do different the next hour?
And then let's say you're in a leadership role. This is a tip. So because people aren't used to this Zoom is perfect. Microsoft Teams is perfect. Now I'm of a different generation. So if you're dealing with an older crowd of people at work, remember our social life. We're at work so much. We kind of need that still. It's kind of a weird concept. However, if you're dealing with a Gen Z or a millennial, you may not have to touch base as much. Does that make sense? Because their social life is not based on work life.
Yes.
We're different, right? So remember that too when you're communicating. If you're in a leadership position and you're worried about your employees, figure out how much time you need to communicate with them and how.
Yes.
Email may work for some people. Like for me, just email me. I don't need to talk to you. But for others, but for others, they might need a face-to-face on Zoom or Microsoft Teams a couple times a week.
Oh, that was the other. Yep.
Just to check in,
Yeah. And I think this is where a lot of leaders are really learning what it takes to manage someone when you can't constantly see them. I'm not a micromanager. For me, micromanaging, it's just, that's not my style. I don't work well with it. I am very, I like to trust people with, this is a task at hand. When can it be done? Let's get it done. Let's move forward. You have any issues? Let's brainstorm. Let's attack this beast. Let's do it. But I do hold you accountable for what you said you were going to do. And if you didn't do it, let's talk. Why not? What happened? Why didn't you tell me before? So we do need to. I believe like it's still the same interactions. You just have to be a lot more communicative, a lot more purposeful
Yes.
Because people are not going to pick up your phone if you're going to be getting yelled at all the time. They're going to be like, oh,
Yeah, no.
you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like, nope, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
You know? So so like for me, like phone calls, emails, meetings like this, like everybody works different. So it's a big learning curve for me too on how do I keep my team glued together, stay afloat. So I do a lot of homework on my end as a leader of, how do we empower our team being so far away? I don't feel far away from them at all. I really
don't feel
do
far
not.
away from work either.
I really feel like I could send a text message and I know they're going to communicate back at their convenience, and they know the urgency based on the question. Like, we built a good system.
Relationship to begin
Yeah,
with.
good relationship building. I think this is the part where it's different because you don't have the person in front of you. So, so that's
you gotta trust. This is when the leaders either make it or break it, right? Not so much us.
Yes.
It's gonna be kind of them, right?
Yeah. So this is the part that I tell people right now, your company is looking for the rock stars.
Yes.
Who can handle this? Might be the new thing.
Because this is what companies are going to realize that are forward thinking. Okay, they're going to realize I don't have to pay rent. Yeah, I don't have to pay rent.
That's the main
right. I
one.
can have my employees at home, and the building goes away.
Yep.
Right. And
the
I can
brick and mortar is really changing.
Yes. So this 30 days is a good experiment. And trust me, when you're working from home and you're not quarantined per se, it's unbelievable, right? So we're in this situation. And the other thing I tell parents is this is your time to reconnect with your kids. Because I read an article the other day and I said, you know what? You have positive thinking, not, oh my gosh, I'm stuck at home. You have 30 days to do things with your children that you couldn't ever have done before. Take advantage of your children. I just can't tell people enough.
Yes, we can't stress that enough. And I think, the way I try to do my schedule right now is different. Right now, I consider this my vacation schedule. My vacation schedule is when my son's home from spring break. Typically, we travel, you know what I'm saying, for vacations and stuff. We try to travel, but like, let's say my summer hours. This is what my summer hours basically look like. I have everybody at home.
Okay.
So that schedule gets so thrown off for me because I want to spend time with my kids. I want to get to know what they're like.
Yes.
Like I want to like, you're my buddy. You're my work buddy. You're my everything buddy.
Yeah. Take this time because if you're forced to go back to the office, you're not going to get it back.
No, you only get to. Yes, so enjoy it as much as you can.
People say, oh, it's 30 days. But you know what? It's only 30 days. As you grow older, you realize how important time is, right?
Yes.
It's really only 30 days out of your life. We get too wound up of why we have to do it versus the time.
Yes. So so I was just pulling the calendar. So we haven't been in quarantine since March 13. It's April 1st. So it has been
2 weeks?
2. This Friday will be officially 3 full weeks. We're literally next week will be 30 days already. So we have an extra 2 weeks of this. So I will look at it as you might need to go back to work.
I know. Or if your boss calls and says, can you come back to the office? I would suggest, hey boss, can I have an extra 30 days outside of quarantine? Because I'm going to tell you, it's going to be totally different. And then you're going to compare the two, and then you're going to compare work, and you're going to be like, do I have to go back?
There's people that really do need that structure though, because you got to remember that. I remember that part of that big transition. Our brains are constantly trying to make habits of things.
Yes. Yeah, because there will be some people that say, I can't work from home, right? And most companies, we wish that all the companies would allow people to remain at home, but the bulk of them probably won't. The bulk of the companies are going to say, come to work 3 days a week and work from home 2 days a week. That's probably what you're going to actually see. And then there's going to be a few people that say, hey, boss, can I work from home? The boss is going to say, yes, right? Because they're superstars. They're not worried about it, right? Yeah. Because you're right. But think about it. I worked, well, you can't use me because I've always been flexible going, but most people have worked 5-10 years in the same pattern. So what I think is going to happen is you're going to see that pattern slowly change.
Yeah.
Come to work 3 days a week, stay at home 2 days and work. And I think that'll be the pattern. And I think most people will actually enjoy that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think even if you like patterns or like doing this or that, once you feel 2 days a week of a little bit of a flexibility, you're going to be okay.
Yes. Yeah.
So don't worry about anything. And then we have to add the stress of the coronavirus.
Yeah, let's talk about that. You look
uncertainty that caused this, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stress with people that they may get sick, right? Ruby's going to put some sites of some legit doctors and the CDC. I suggest you watch them and just learn, and then take that information and go out and research it, or just listen to that and know, right? We all may or may not be affected by it. My family, we've been affected by it, right?
Can you tell us about that? Can you tell us about that?
I just a little bit.
Yeah, that's totally fine. Whatever you're comfortable with.
I can tell you a little bit about it, just because, and you'll learn this if you or another family member is affected, and it's for privacy issues of everybody, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I've been exposed, right? But I don't know if I have it. So you go to bed every night not knowing, and you wake up every morning not knowing, and you think, and I'm not a worry. I'm a little bit different, so I don't worry about it. But most people would think about it all day, right? Because you have to wait a certain amount of time in each section, right, to know if you're going to get sick. And then if you get sick, oh my gosh, how sick am I going to get, right? I don't worry about it, because if I get sick, I get sick. If the severity is this, the severity is this. I'm not stopping it. But I understand that that's not how everyone works, right? So you just live with that, because we don't have any tests, right? And even if we did, even if we get tests, they're still going to be limited. I wouldn't take the test, because I don't have severe symptoms. I'm not taking the test from somebody else that needs it, period. Now, if I get sick, I have a number I can call. And if I call that number, that person will help me.
Oh, nice.
Right?
Okay.
I'm not one of these people that say, oh my gosh, we need more tests, because if you get sick, you get sick. The test is just going to confirm it, right? So if you feel sick, you should go get a test, right? And you quarantine yourself for 14 days. You know, I live by myself, so it's not a big deal. But if you have a family, you would have to adjust, right? Do different things. So you wait your 14 days wondering, and you just do. And if it happens, right? You have help. You go to the hospital. So they will come up with a test, and they already have, that in the future, probably a few months from now, you'll have available. If you think you had the coronavirus, you can go get a test, and the test will tell you yes or no. Because 95% of the people are going to have mild symptoms. You're going to think you have the flu or the cold. You may have had the coronavirus. So in a few months, if there's a lot of tests, I'll go get it. If not, I'm not worried about it. You know, I don't know. I might have had it. So,
wow.
So
you're already over the 14 days, because you look great.
Yes, yes.
It sounds so scary that it's like I see you and I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing that if you get it, you are gonna heal if you take the right precautions.
Yes.
It's something that we gotta have.
Yeah, I quarantined myself. I still took walks as long as I don't come within 6 feet of someone, but there ain't nobody out there, so I've never seen anybody. And if I would have went probably 20 feet if I ever ran into somebody,
Yeah.
I took my garbage out at night because I knew there's going to be nobody, right? I had mild symptoms. I had a fever, chills, and sweats. Now, was that from the flu, the cold, the allergies, or the coronavirus?
I was just gonna say, like, that just sounds like my daily life. I get hot sweats. Like, I don't like cold. Like, I don't even know. So I wouldn't. Okay.
Yeah. So I have those 4 things to pick from, right?
Yeah.
And you have to take your temperature every day. I took my temperature every day. I wrote it down for 14 days. They want you to take it twice a day, but I took it once a day because I wasn't panicked about it, and I wasn't going to go out and give it to anybody,
Yeah.
So I had mild symptoms of something. But I got 4 things. I got 4 diseases to pick from. I don't know which one to pick. Now, some people do get severe because, we've had, I think it's 3,300 deaths. So some people will get severe symptoms and recover. Some people will have mild symptoms. 95% of people will have mild symptoms. And then there's going to be people that have severe symptoms that do pass away. So that's why you should be looking at the CDC site and listening to reputable, the doctors that are going to tell you stuff, right? Prepare you for what could happen.
Yeah, about listening to what they're saying, if they're saying you should stay home, like,
yes,
I went virtual, like actually telling people I was virtual a year ago, just because I knew that I was doing business differently, and I just knew that it wasn't the norm for people, know. And people that have a corporate job, they're probably looking at me like, yeah, you probably don't work. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking, I probably work more than you do.
No, I'm going to tell you that. This is what you will find working from home. And I'm not kidding you. You think you work more, and you might be because you're not keeping track of your hours. Yeah. Okay. The second thing is the reason you think you're working more is because you are more productive.
Yes.
Okay. I'll have the same list. I tell people, compare what you did in a day at work, and then compare what you did a day at home in work. If you're truly working at home, you are going to outpace at work. Yeah. Sometimes I sit here and say, oh my gosh, I got my whole list done in 4 hours. What do I do next, right?
That's funny.
But that would have been an 8-hour, because I do go to campus to teach,
yeah.
right? So I might go in a couple of hours early on certain days. Well, by the time I get my coffee, talk to everybody, and all the stop bys all day long, I'm like, now I have to work when I go home.
Yes. And I think that's the part that I was never a fan of that in corporate. If I'm going to be 100% honest,
Yeah.
I remember like it was fine, but who's going to do my work? You're not going to do my work. Now I got more work. So yeah, I think
yes.
for those that like that, I'm not really going to do anything, and then having to come to show what you produce, I believe that's going to be the culture shock of not being able to show what you produced, because now your leaders are looking. Now the whole mentality has shifted to, are you really working? You know?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, are you really working? Yeah, I am. Did you get what else do you need me to do? Because trust me, once you start working from home, and we, like you said, you've been in 3 weeks, and we've been probably 3 weeks too. So we're at that borderline of adjusting. In the next 3 weeks, if you've adjusted, have the right behavior and attitude, you're going to find yourself going, I got all my work done. Now what do I do? And now you're going to do a little extra, but that's okay because you still haven't put in your 8 hours.
Yeah. Totally. Yes. So what else can you share with us about, your articles that you have written? We have about 5-10 more minutes before our meeting gets disconnected. So, what else can you share with us? If there's something that you want people to walk away with today, what would that be?
Today, with this current situation as we are today, what I would like people to do is take a deep breath and relax. Okay, because every one of us have a different situation. Now, Ruby and I are capable of working at home. We've been doing it for a while. We're laughing and we're telling you what to do, but we also understand that's going to take you a while to adjust to, and that's fine. I'm going to be writing articles about staying at home and what to do, and just a little bit on the virus, because as a researcher, and I'm not a medical scientist, but I research. All scientists have to, all people have to research like a scientist. Okay?
Yeah, agree.
All a scientist or not.
Don't be passing bad information.
Yeah,
so it sounded really good.
Yeah, I'll be putting more work at home stuff in my articles, both on LinkedIn and the 360 article. And I'll now start putting a little bit of scientific information in there. And stuff to say, hey, like an example, you're going to hear today, well, you heard tomorrow, yesterday, that a very well-respected university did a research and said if somebody sneezes with the coronavirus, it can go 26 feet. But the CDC explained that yesterday, but how many people watched? Now, a handful? Nobody, right? But the news grabbed a hold of it today. So that's what I'm going to put in my next article, right? Okay, that research really was done. It really was. And here are all the other research projects that were done. And the big difference is when you do a research project in the lab, you can create things. So the sneeze that went 26 feet was in a controlled lab setting with a person that dramatized a sneeze, like bigger than real life. Well, my normal sneeze will go that far if I dramatize it, right? And then there's the real world research, which is within the patient in a room with the nurses and doctors. what's happening in the real world environment? Well, they can't find any true evidence yet that it goes past 6 feet. They're not even really sure if it goes past 3 feet. So it'll take months, if not years, to figure out actually how far the virus can go, right? Because you're going to take all these patient data, right? And then they're going to say, oh, but this happened in the lab. Well, anything can happen in a lab. What do you want?
Controlled.
Yeah, it's controlled.
Yeah.
But look at the nurses and doctors, right? That's what they'll look at, the infection rate, when it happened, how it happened, right? So in my next article, and you know what, I'm not telling people true or not, I just want you to look at the research, you know, and make up your own mind, because it's going to be quite a while till we find out anything, right? So I want everybody to relax and breathe, because some of the stories I'm reading are just a little over the top. Take care of yourself, your family, focus on working. Now, there is a part of society, and I read it today, that a lot of people are getting laid off.
Yes.
Because of the economics of it.
Yes.
So that is going to add an enormous amount of stress on families and different things. But as you can see, our government has done some things to hopefully alleviate that. But it's still a shock that everybody's got to deal with. But again, I want everybody to breathe. We got 30 days. We're going to make it through these 30 days. And I tell people, look, historical and crisis, we always come out of them.
Yeah.
It's rough, right? Nobody's going to say this is not going to be rough. Because there's going to be some people that pass away, and I'm affected mildly. I have another story that I was affected a little bit more, but I'm researching that before I discuss it.
Yeah.
We're going to make it through. The malls are going to reopen up. The restaurants are all going to reopen up. And everybody's going to go back to work, right? We just need to breathe, and we need to get through the next 30 days.
Yes. Yes. I think that was a very good way to lay it out of. We just need to breathe and take one day at a time.
Yes.
I think that's the best advice that I live by. You could plan for tomorrow all you want. Have your nice plan. I'm not saying no.
Yes, plan away.
But be sure that you are intentional with your day, and that you prioritize what's really important. I think now is the time to really learn to listen to your mind, body, soul, and brain. Everything.
Yes, absolutely.
I feel like we're getting resynced back to humanity. Is the way I see it.
The other thing I want to tell everyone, because I'm thinking about how to write this in my book about this whole thing, is, you know what? People that have the coronavirus, most people are going to survive, okay? And what I want people to remember is, if you hear about somebody having it, or an employee of yours or a friend of yours, treat them with respect. I'm hearing way too many stories about people disrespecting people that are fine, that got over the coronavirus. People got over SARS. People got over MERS. HIV/AIDS is a virus. We've just now had our second case in the world cured, and we've had HIV/AIDS for 20
There was a big epidemic back in the late 80s.
Yes, it is a virus.
People were dying, and finally we have a cure.
Yeah, only 2 people have experimented with the cure as of 20 years, okay?
Yeah.
But this is a virus. People do recover, and when they recover, they're not contagious. They live their life, and we go on. till the next virus comes, right? Because that's what's going to happen. But I'm hearing way too many stories about people disrespecting people because they had the coronavirus. Are you kidding me? No.
Yeah,
No.
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on this beautiful monthly. I think this brings us to the end of our topic for today. I know we could go on and on. You and I could go on and on.
Good.
But it's a matter of respect for our listeners, and we are going to get cut off because Zoom is actually cutting off my calls now. And everything where people are like, no, not there anymore. So I got to adjust too. So for everybody else, this is Ruby with MRV Financial. Thank you so much for joining us today on our topic for today with our awesome Dr. Jacqueline Lang to talk about working from home, you know, a little bit about COVID-19, you know, how to just stay afloat mentally, physically, because it's a new world we live in with our awesome, you know, guests here. So Dr. Jacqueline, if anybody wanted to reach out to you, how can they get a hold of you?
Well, they could email me. My email address is on LinkedIn and on my articles.
Okay, awesome. So you may look for her on LinkedIn. Her information will be there.
Oh yeah, LinkedIn is the best way. Just inbox me, email me.
Okay,
there.
awesome. So that brings us to our end today. Again, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe to our social medias. We still have our raffle going on. We will go ahead and update the numbers this week so that everyone could see where they stand. I believe we are in the 200-300s right now, so that's amazing for us. Means that, you know, we're doing what we should be doing. So thank you so much for that, Dr. Jacqueline. Any words before we leave?
No, goodbye, everybody. Thank you, Ruby.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.